Hey peeps, thanks for peeping. I'm trying to get in here tonight and do a little bit on the game. Short sword playthrough. I forget what number I'm on. I want to say four. Or maybe it's really three because I think I said two and a half last time. But anyway, we remember got into the village. He talked to a couple of farmers, or a farmer and his son and his son's friend. And they took him to the mayor, and the mayor said, oh, a hunter. Once he said he was a hunter, he was all excited. And they were like, "Can you help us with our Tarasque problem? We got this Tarasque who's coming in, and he's spewing out his poison." And anyway, Mayor Mayor Stephen Longbeard, who has no beard, he was going to send him. He said, you go kill this Tarasque, or help my guard get to it and kill the Tarasque, and I'll, you can stay here at the village as much as you want." And if you remember, the guard, there's only one guy as a guard. He, sort of whispered to him, and they kind of smiled. Yeah, that's a good idea. So they have some other reward in mind for Torin, and we don't know what it is yet. But he says, he didn't need anything else. He just wanted somewhere to live through the winter, because the winter's coming. It's probably late summer, so it's going to fall, but he needs to be getting a place to stay and everything. But the what's his name? Robert, I believe his name was. Make sure. But they make me some, like I always say, it's a good idea. I don't know if you'll be able to see it because that light. I always make little index cards with all my notes on it. Yeah, Robert was the older, balding male farmer, and he said, "You can stay in my barn." He told him you can stay in the barn. So anyway, Gilbert takes uh, old Torin down there to the forest to the south, because he said that was the last time they'd seen it. And when Torin got down there, he could see the tracks, and in fact, if you look, you can see the tracks there in front of him. And I've also, if you'll pay attention, I've got a chit I've made for Gilbert. In fact, let's bring him up and look at him. Pretty good. There, Gilbert. You're giant size. Wow, there you go. But anyway, I got Gilbert. I drew a bunch of artwork today, and I don't know how much of it we'll get to, but uh, I did that this afternoon as I was just goofing around. But anyway, we got Gilbert with us here, and if you'll notice, Gilbert has chainmail and a helm, so he's got a little bit of armor to him. And he was the only person in the village, and probably, I'm gonna be honest with you, Torin's probably never seen that. So Torin's probably staring at him as they're walking, like looking at all that metal on him. And he's like, what is that? And he says, "You've never seen chainmail before?" He says, "It's chainmail. And I got a helm for my head to stop me from getting hit." And he says, "Wow, that's pretty cool there." So he's like, um, he says, "I've never seen such things. Everything where I'm from is made out of leather and wood, and the only thing we really have that's any kind of metal is maybe the nails that go into our log cabins sometimes, but we don't even have many of those." He says, "Oh, you don't really live up there in the sticks." But down here we don't have that much of it. He says, "I'm the only person in the village of Wheatstrand, which is the name of the village, that has armor. That's this. They made me the guard, and they put me in armor so I could defend the town. We do have knights that come through. You ought to see them. They're full plate." What do you mean plate? He says, "You know how my shoulder pads are? I mean, my shoulder guards are." He says, "The whole body be covered in something in that." And they'd have a helm in front of their face. And Torrance is like, wow, you just can't believe that such a thing exists. Well, as they're sitting there looking at the tracks and they're deciding to go in there, let's take a look at the character sheet too. That was another thing I had done up. Because if you remember, well, there's Gilbert. Gilbert's he's going to have a short sword. I thought somebody needed to have a short sword. We're playing short sword. We need somebody to have a short sword. But he's a weapon master of short sword. He has 20/20 vision. So you would have thought he had seen the tracks, but maybe he don't understand how tracks work. And you see that chainmail listed. Chainmail gives him a -1 on any kind of damage. And I thought this was funny. I rolled all this right after the last game when I thought, well, I need Gilbert to have a character sheet. So I rolled all this. And I looked at I rolled up his flaw, and it was sleepy and quiet, or get sleepy easy. So I put sleepy in quiet moments, and I think that is the funniest flaw for a guard to have. Because they're like, we can't. He's like, I can never catch this Tarasque. And I'm thinking, well, it's because you fall asleep. The Tarasque just wanders around and just does whatever he wants, right? So that kind of makes that funny. But anyway, we got him, and hopefully this will show up right. But, of course, here's Torin, and Torin is still, he's got 13. He went up one from that one session. And we still look at all the stuff he has. He has 2D. I got to remember that. He has 2D on that arrows. He has 6D on rations. But he has that 3D on fungus. And we'll have to roll that every... I don't know if I want to do it every turn or not. I think I'm going to do it every session. So at the end of the session, we'll roll that to see how much he loses. And we found out he could read and write too. But see, down at the bottom, we see the 3D on the fungus clock. And don't forget, he's got the 6 jewels from that ruin tower that he went through. And he's got a rabbit pelt. Actually, his rations went up by 1 because of the rabbit kill. So, anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started here. We'll go ahead and turn off his character sheet so we can see what we're doing. Also, for this session, I don't know if you notice in the image, you'll see the little, what looks like a tree stump, but it's really a full tree, but you just like cut away so we can move around inside it. And then that way, the tree will represent an obstacle for them to move through. And we're going to go ahead and use the 3x3 generator that I created. And we're going to use that to generate it as they're tracking him. And every time they go into an area, so we'll go ahead and have them go into the area. So let's say he comes in, he sees the tracking, and it follows him. Maybe Gilbert follows behind him. And I'm going to roll on Torin's ability. And remember, he has advantage with hunting and tracking. And we'll see which way he sees the tracks going. And it'll either be to the west, the east, or the south. It couldn't be north. He'd be in the village, right? So we're going to first roll to see if he can see it. So we'll just roll two light ones for him. All right, he succeeded. So he sees tracks. But which direction? We're just going to use one. And we're going to say, I'm going to go ahead and write it down before I forget it. 1 to 2 is to the west. 3 to 4 is going to be to the south. And 5 to 6 is going to be to the east. So let me go ahead and bring up some tracks. So what we're going to roll first. It's a 3, so that means to the south. So that one's easy enough. So let me go ahead and throw some tracks in. Of course, they're going to come up giant size. Oh, man. There we go. Now we're going to bring them going this way. So he says, oh, they're going this way. Gilbert says, man, you got a good eye for that. He said, well, that's about all I do. So now we're going to go to the south. But now let's create one other clock, and that's going to be how long is it going to take them to track this Tarasque now? So we'll roll a d6. Okay, so 4d6. So that gives me another thing to track. So we got a 4d. So each time we're going to go into a new segment, a new 3x3 segment, we'll roll on that. And when we get a 1, it's going to come down. And when we don't have any dice left, we have run into the Tarasque. So anyway, they're going to go to the south. And we're going to go ahead and use that 3x3 generator. And if you remember, let's look at it again. I don't know if I brought it up long enough. Basically, we're going to roll 96. And then we're going to just tally up how many obstacles are on it. That's a 5 and a 6. It means that's an obstacle, that type of obstacle in that area. And then we're going to take if there's any ones, we're going to pull them to the side because they could be traps, they could be monsters, and other things we could run in, or they could be stuff. In this case, if we've run into stuff, it's just going to be herbs or things like that. We're not going to have it be treasure because surely the villagers would have found the treasure by now. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and roll for that. So we need 96. That's pretty much good. Whoops. I'm doing one at a time. Yeah, one more. Okay. I'm going to count the knocking them around. Oh. So if you look, we have what? Three obstacles. Oops. Get them out. And we only have one to re-roll. If it's not a trap or a monster. Be a boring game. We didn't run into anything. So we'll go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and re-roll the one and see what it ends up being. And I don't think that's nothing. But let's double check, make sure. Yeah, I think it's just 2 that means they're wonder monster. 1 makes it a trap, and 6 is actually you found some kind of helpful item. So we'll go ahead and turn that back off. And we got 3 obstacles that we had rolled. So we'll go ahead and put those guys out. Go back to Owlbear. So that's 1. Oh, Owlbear, why don't you keep their dimensions? Like I always say, Owlbear is both a blessing and a curse. I saw one today. It's called Virtual Map Machine. Virtual Map Table. Something like that. I'd never heard of it. It's a newer BTT I need to check out. If I find out, I'll get more information on it. But anyway, so remember in the 3x3 generator, we can put them where we want to. So I'm going to have them be maybe 2 there. Hey, that's good. That's good. That makes it. That's going to kind of guide us in different directions. So anyway, he comes into this area. There's nothing special here. Maybe Gilbert's looking around. First thing, let's roll to see how the Tarasque is doing. And if we remember correctly, it's a 4D, right? So that's easy enough to just grab these guys. If anybody's a 1, there's no 1. So Tarasque is nowhere near us yet. So the other thing we need to roll for is if he can find the tracks again, right? So you roll 2. Yes, he finds the tracks again. Which direction are they? So that is to the west. So that kind of works out cool. So let me bring out another pair of tracks. We're going to switch it to the. It's going this way. So he's like, okay. So we're going to go to the west. Bring him in here. And then we're going to start that whole process again. So 9. I thought about getting my other dice thing out, but the sound of the power just kind of soothing him. Alright, we got what? 1, 2, 3, 4 obstacles, and we got 1. So let's re-roll that 1 to see what we got going on. Nothing. Alright, so we got 4 obstacles. So I'll go ahead and throw those guys out. I'll rebuild them. How you being funny tonight? I got 4. Good night. This is a crowded woods. Kind of like it for this because if I could just get Owlbear to keep it the right dimensions. We got 4. All right, so now, like I said, we can put it. Actually, I'm gonna leave him there. Do it like that. How about that? Yeah, let's do it like that. That way we got a way to go back. And if it rolls west, we're gonna make it. Excuse me. If it rolls east in this room, we'll go to west. So anyway, so we come into this room, and we re-roll. Yeah, it was nothing. So old Torin comes down over here. Make sure y'all seeing that right. Yeah, y'all doing good. Okay. So we come into this room. So once again, we're rolling for the Tarasque. It's 4D. Oh, I had one in there, didn't I? But anyway, there were none of them were one. But that didn't happen. The other thing we gotta do was looking for tracks again. Yep. So he's able to find the tracks. And it's either going to be south, so 1 through 3 is to the west, and 4 through 6 is to the south. Yeah, 4 to 6, that's the south. So let me drop these giant tracks down. He's going to the south. What's south? Yikes. All right. So, Torin's like, yeah, it's to the south. So he's going to do it. So here we go again. So far we haven't run into anything, which was a blessing and a curse, right? One, 3. All right, so we got 1, 2. Let me take them out. 1, 2, 3. No ones. Oh yeah, we do got 1. Oh, that means there's a monster in this room. All right, anyway, let's put the obstacles out first. Get Gilbert down here. Put these obstacles in. We have, what is it, 3? So we'll put the 3 down. I know there's a way to copy them and make them stay. We'll do like that. Oh, that's good. That's good. All right, so there's a monster down here. So that's an issue. We got to fight. So let's bring up our monster chart. Now here's the messed up thing. I actually made a monster for what I thought was in my list, except for the giant rat. Now watch us roll that. If it is the giant rat, we'll just use the dog. So anyway, let's roll and see what kind of monster it is. What I tell you, for the giant rat, the one I didn't make an image for. But anyway, we're gonna use the dog. So let me move the dog in there. There he is. But pretend that's a giant rat. He does look like a rat, but anyway. So it's a giant. When they come into this area, maybe he's over here. And maybe it jumps out and startles them. Alright. So now we're going to have combat. There's more of us than him, so we get to have an advantage. So what I'm going to do, he has 2 because of his bow. So I think he would back up so he could fire at it. And maybe Gilbert would run in and fight since we have initiative. So we're going to give, we're going to use the white for Torin. Let's use the blue because his metal's kind of bluish for him. And let me take a look at, the rule set and see what the rat had going on. Well, I can't see it on that one. Uh-oh. It's done something. Bring the rules up so I can mess with them. Oh, no. Lost some of the... some of the information somehow. My bad. But anyway, I'm pretty sure the giant rat just had attacks. I'm going to say it's about 10. Not that much. We'll say it's about 5 hit points. Why it lost its information there, I don't know. Always something. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and bring up Senor. Oh, I got it here. Duh. I know I had someone. 6. I was close. 6 hit points. And he steals rations. Ooh. Anyway, I'm going to put him into the tally. We'll go ahead and put him up there. And we'll close off this monster sheet. So 6. Yeah, 6. All right, let me go in the tally and I'll go ahead and fix that. I'm going to call the rat Ricky. Some people will know what that's. No, Willow. There you go. And then rat. Yeah, 1d6. It was 6, right? There we go. So we got him. All right. So I'm going to, like I said, I'm gonna have 2 for me with the Torin with the bow. The 2 blue is for Gilbert for his sword, and poor rat, he only gonna have 1 green dice for him. That's the monsters. So let's run them all in there and see what happens. All right, he has 5. Gilbert's highest is 4. So Gilbert does not. Look at that. Get my fingers away. Gilbert does not hit him, but my boy Torin does. So the mouse is going to, the rat's going to get a bite on Gilbert. So I need to roll a d6 for that, but I get to roll a d6 for Torin's damage first. Since, I guess, well, we'll do it. First of all, let's do the rat's damage. So he does 2 points of damage to our boy Gilbert. What is that? What there? 2. Yeah, it's 2. He does 2 points of damage? Yeah, sure. Nice. So Gilbert's already down to 9. Smashing. Then our boy Torin, he got to do some damage. He got to do 4 points of damage. So our rat got hit as well. Yeah, that's 4. So he's down to 2. But the unfortunate thing is he has gained initiative, which is the thing I always have trouble remembering in this game. So anyway, let's do our next roll. Same thing. Because remember I said I think they should still be able to use parry with that. I don't know how that would work with Torin, but Torin's not really close. Only thing he's trying to do is regain. Well, he's ranged attack. That's right. If he wins in it, he still gets to shoot off a ranged attack. So anyway, let's roll them all together and see what happens. Ooh. Well, he still beats Gilbert. So Gilbert's still going to get some hit on it. But I was able to outdo him, even if I don't have initiative. So let's do the rat's damage first. Just give him a chance to get his damage in. Because I'm thinking Torin's going to fix it and take him out. So that does, what is that? 5 points. Ooh, God. Gilbert. Oh, I forgot to take that damage, y'all. That's right. He's got armor, so he should take 1 point of damage away. Oh, that's off. You always forget something. I'm glad you, as long as you remember it eventually. So, let me go back to Mr. Gilbert and fix him up a little bit. So we got to add a point back. Yeah, there you go. So, all right. But now we got to hit him with 5. So he's down to 5 points. But Torin was able to do better than the rat, so he'll get to use his bow. Really Torin. So anyway, the giant rat got hit for 1. He's down to 1 point. All right. One more round. I think. One's been rolling awful good to roll again. But the rat still has initiative, so Gilbert's gonna have to beat him to get it back in back in their hands. All right. Gilbert is tied with him, but the attacker gets it on the attack on that. But luckily, Torin, he's gonna still get his shot off. But the rat still has initiative because he didn't lose against one target, right? So let's get the rat's damage first on the tell you the truth. I think Torin's fixing to kill him. He's better. The rat does 5 points of damage. Oh, it's only really 4. Did I do it again? I did. We got to give him a point back. I forgot again. Watch me go back and look, and I did it. But player 2, got to give him back a point because he's got the armor. But then we got a minus 5. Oh, Gilbert. But now, of course, I can't possibly roll less than 1, so our rat friend is passed on. All right, so that was the end of combat. We got rid of that rat. Let me get rid of that rat. Oh, let's turn him sideways. We got to do the blip. I know it says dog, but the dog rat is dead. All right, after he kills him, Torin probably runs over to. Oh, let's roll on our arrows. That's another thing. I've got 2D arrows right now. If either one of these go 1, then I drop down. We're good. I need to slow down on that. Sorry. So anyway, he's still got his arrows. He looks at Gilbert. He says, "Oh my gosh, Gilbert, are you all right?" And he says, "I took a pretty bad hit." He said, "I've got some rations. Maybe that'll help me fix it up and everything." So he's trying to help him fix it up. And he says, "This bag of herbs I got. Do you recognize any of them?" And he sort of shows it to him. And he looks at it and he said, "That's mini go-go. That just make me be awake." Might be good for him. But anyway, he says, "I'll just eat some of my rations." So he eats some of his rations. And he heals in this game. It heals back. Well, let's double check. I'm pretty sure it says it heals back. But yeah, eat one. Yeah, it recovers 1d6 when you eat food. So he's eating food. Now take away from his rations. Let me go back to the character sheet while I'm thinking about it. So we need to go. Oh, turn that off so I can see what I'm doing. Need to find our boy Gilbert. Put him down to 4. So he's down to 4 rations, but he's going to get his 1d6 hit points back. So let's roll one of his dice. 4, so he gets 4 hit points back. So let me go ahead and get his one. So he's back to 5. Actually, I think I robbed him of 1 point of protection, but anyway, well, I'll go back and look at it here in a bit. But anyway, he heals up a little bit, and we're gonna go ahead and roll for the to run into the Tarasque. We're still at 4D. Might have to modify that. Yeah, but it's not going anywhere. So no, the Tarasque is not anywhere near. And he's like, he looks at Torin looks at Gilbert. He says, "Do you want to press on?" And he says, "Yeah, we got to find this thing." So he says, "Just look for the more tracks." So he's okay. I'll look. And this time he didn't find it. He's looking around. He's like, I can't find the tracks. And he says, Gilbert's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "They're just not showing up." So, well, what do we do now? He says, "Well, I guess we just have to guess which way we thought he went." And I guess Torn goes back through his head. He says, "Well, he's kind of drifting this way. So maybe he went to the west." And he said, "Well, I guess that's which way we should go." So Torn goes looking towards the west to see what he can find. And we'll come back to that tomorrow. But I'm right now I'm having to deliberate on whether or not let me turn that stupid character sheet on. Can we use that clock for that? Because that is it's going to take forever. So we're experimenting here. I'm trying to bring something into this that it's not part of the game originally. So I'm questioning it. I'll think about it and make a decision on it. But I hope this has been enjoyable. Gotten some more views on older ones. It's weird. It's like it takes them a long time to catch up. But then again, we all know how YouTube is. But anyway, I appreciate you joining me on this, and hopefully tomorrow night we'll get to do some more if I get some spare time at night. And I plan to play through Short Sword the rest of this month, and then next month we're gonna move on to Boundless, which is from Fari Games, I believe it's called. And I've always liked them because they make the little trifold, like to fold up, like the old vacation pamphlets used to get when I was a kid. But anyway, we're going to try that one. They make pretty good games. I love Pneumatic, which uses a breathless system. We'll get around to that eventually. But anyway, I appreciate you, and thanks for watching.